VCAL TV presents The Music Show.
Hello to the 2Sweet music listeners. I'm your host, Hannah. This week we are going to be talking about the British singer-songwriter Callum Scott. He was born on October the 12th, 1988, which means he is 29 years old. Callum Scott is a pop rock singer style, which is he sings a lot of pop and he sings rock as well. Before entering BGT, which is Britain's Got Talent, he was in a local competition in 2013, the 15th of August, which, of course, he won, which is an amazing achievement for someone who was so nervous. Callum plays the guitar and is also a vocalist, so a singer. He joined a tribute band for Maroon 5, but the name of that was Maroon 4 because there was 4 of them. When auditioning for BGT, Callum had many nerves because before he went on stage to perform, his sister Jade Scott was on before him, but she got stopped on both her songs, which was very sad because she had an amazing voice, but she just wasn't as strong as him. She got 3 no's as she didn't need the last no because there were 3 no's in a row. So this was very upsetting for him because he had to deal with the fact that he was up next and fearing that he wouldn't get through. I had read somewhere that I actually didn't read it. I watched it on YouTube where he was the older brother, but Jade got Callum into singing. And that progressed a lot because he just enjoyed singing with her and everything like that. So he became a big hit. Callum was so good at his song. His auditioning song was Dancing on My Own by Robin, but he made it a slower version, which was much more, more calm. It wasn't more of a pop, it was more of a slow kind of song. But the good thing about that was Callum had gotten the golden buzzer from one of the judges. I can't remember which judge it was. I'm pretty sure it was Alicia Keys. And Callum won the semi-final vote with 25.6% of a vote. Though he didn't win the whole show because on the finals he forgot the words to Rihanna's Diamonds, which was actually quite sad to read about because he had an amazing voice, and that does happen when you get nervous and then you just forget everything. But even though he didn't win, he was still remembered for his amazing audition, which I've watched over and over and over again, and I never get sick of it because he just had such an angelic voice and his accent was amazing with that song. It just fits in so well. But in 2016, Callum released his first album named Only Human. You can check that out in the stores and you can also get that on iTunes as well. I haven't listened to all of his songs, but I'm planning on it sometime. And on the 15th of April, 2016, he independently released his cover of Dancing on My Own. On the 5th of August 2016, he was certified a platinum award in the UK for selling over 600,000 copies of the song. That's an amazing achievement, to be honest. I would just freak out if I ever sold that many albums. But this was just one song. 600,000 people loved his version of Dancing on My Own. So they decided they were going to join in and buy his track. And for me, that would be a dream come true. Singing has been a big part of my life, and probably most of you, your lives as well. Music is a good calming instrument, especially for stressed people. I find that a lot of you guys would probably listen to music, whether if it's rock, rap, or anything like that. It's a good calmer to be able to just get in the mood. I mean, music can be for anything. It could be for dancing, it could be for a concert, or it could just be specifically because you just want to listen to the music. Now, back to Callum. He announced on the 24th of May via Twitter that he was assigned to a record label called Capitol Records. I'm sorry if I haven't pronounced that right. Now, he wrote a hit single called You Are the Reason. You Are the Reason was, I believe it was interpreted by him, where I read somewhere, I'm not sure if I'm 100% right, so apologies if I haven't got this right. But he wrote this song not because of a bad experience he has had with his relationships, because he is single. But his meaning behind this song was that he was trying to get across that for all the people who are having troubles in their relationship because they're just going through a hard time or they're fighting, but it kind of basically says that they'll always stand by each other because they're partners and they're not going to leave each other. The chorus song of the song is beautiful. I listen to it all the time. The lyrics just go through your mind, and the chorus is so beautiful and angelic. The chorus begins off with, I'd climb every mountain, I swim every ocean just to be with you. Now, for me, that has a different interpretation. For me, I would interpret that kind of lyric or chorus for how I would, or anyone would, stand by their family members no matter what. Like, you've got someone in your family that you're close with and you would stand by them through thick and thin. Well, that's how I would feel about this particular line and lyric. Everyone will have a different particular kind of interpretation for it, but for me, that's what I think of it. If you've got me on any social media, just feel free to text me on what you think about it, as the YouTube has been cut off for all comments. So I would like to see what you guys would interpret it as, if you ever see me around in the schoolyard either. He also did a duet with You Are the Reason with Leona Lewis. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right. For me, it's not my favorite because I feel like she kind of had too much flouncy bits, but I guess it's an acquired kind of duet, but they actually did sound very good together. I think it's just Leona needed to kind of pull back with all her flouncy bits because she was going up. If you've heard her song Bleeding Love, you'll probably see where I'm coming from with all the flouncy bits and then see what she's done with his song. But I do have to say a personal favourite song of his is You Are the Reason, of course. The way he has written it is happy and sad emotion as well. So it's got the happiness like I'll stick by you, but then it's sad where you kind of see all the couples fighting and stuff like that in the video clip. It's a beautiful video clip though. I could just watch it all the time. The actual meaning and the story behind it, I think has a beautiful kind of thing because I'm just so impressed with how he's come along so far. And when I saw his audition on BGT, I was so amazed to see he was so nervous but he didn't show it when he was singing. He just went off into his own little space. And I think that is the best thing that you can do when you are a nervous person, getting up in front of millions of people and also celebrity judges. That would freak me out so much. And I'm sure it would freak most of you out too. So, that takes a lot of guts to be able to stand up in front of millions of people. I'm not quite confident with being able to put in any music yet. I'll have to ask how to do that and properly get it. And once I'm more confident with speaking through this microphone, I will definitely put some links in to the video and make sure, the podcast, not the video, but I'll definitely make sure that there is something that you can actually listen to and get a little bit of a guess and a little bit of an understanding on what the songs are about. But for now, I'm just going to refer the songs, as I don't really know how to enter any songs just yet, but I will make sure that I try to figure it out pretty soon. So back to Callum Scott. I'm not sure if any of you have actually heard his songs, but he has got a very nice voice. You can tell that he's British in the way he sings because of the strong accent. He's still got very strong accent. But if any of you are a fan of him, I can see right now that tickets for 2018 are available from Ticketmaster or Ticket Viagra. Sorry if I haven't pronounced that right. But Callum Scott has got such an angelic kind of voice. He, as I said before, he did win a local talent competition in his hometown. Who he was actually from Yorkshire, which is a beautiful place, I've heard. He's just got such a good way of expressing himself through music, and I think that's important in a singer because I think that to be able to release a song or get up in front of people, you've got to have the determination. And I've found here that You Are the Reason and his from his album Only Human was actually released on 17th of November 2017, which was less than a year ago, and it's still played so many times. The song length, if you guys like longer songs, then it probably won't be for you. But if you like shorter kind of songs, it goes for 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And I think that is just amazing, because why not just listen to a beautiful song and just get away? But this song, he has sold over 2 million copies worldwide of this song. So that's even bigger than Dancing on My Own. I am just completely shocked that one person who is just a one-man show that can actually do that. I think one day he's going to get as big as Ed Sheeran. Not trying to say that they're equally as good yet, but I think he could actually get pretty good. He's also talked to Sam Smith, which I think, I love Sam Smith. Some of his music is quite good. I don't like all of his music, but you know, some of you might. But it's so amazing to be able to see what a person can do. Some of the names of the songs from his album Only Human. In fact, I might actually read out all of them because there's only 11. So the first one is If Our Love Is Wrong, written by Callum Scott, Philip, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, Kane, Fraser T, Smith Parfit. Give Me Something is the second one by Scott. Jason, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name either, Haley, and D0, I think it's pronounced, Warmer. Rhythm Inside, same kind of people. You Are the Reason, Come Back Home, Stop Myself, Dancing on My Own, Only You, Won't Let You Down, What I Miss Most, and Hotel Room. So if any of those sound interesting to you, I know a few of these sound interesting to me, go check them out. I think I'm going to listen to some tonight to see what kind of stuff he writes. And I think that's the best thing about experiencing new music, finding out different people's likes in their music, and then you trying them out, and then you might actually find out that you like them too. Here's a few personal opinions of mine instead of gabbling about everything that I know about him. I'm just going to give you some personal pointers that I love about him. Now, one thing I love about him is not only how supportive he was to his sister. He was upset when his sister didn't get through to any of the show because her voice wasn't powerful enough. But when he got the golden buzzer, my favorite part of that audition was when his sister ran out and gave him a big hug. That is such a beautiful thing to be able to see, because it shows you on how much of a big family they are and how close they are as a brother and sister. Another thing I love about Callum, not only his voice, but his ability to make it his own. When I heard Dancing on My Own by the original singer, I can't say I liked it at all. I found it was too auto-tuned, too much auto-tune, There was a lot of bad kind of... For me, there was, as I say, too much auto-tune, but also I think Robin had used so much different thing on her voice, like reverb and stuff like that, that she completely ruined the dynamics of the song. But when Callum sung it, of course he didn't have any auto-tune on his voice because he was live. I loved it. And he made this song so much better. And I believe that is something to be proud of, because from someone who was so worried about doing all these songs and stuff like that, it's an amazing achievement to be able to go straight from being someone who barely anyone knew to someone who a lot of people know. And I think that's a great kind of thing for someone, especially his sister, knowing that he got through and nearly won. I'm actually quite upset that he didn't win. I think he had the potential to win. I think it was just that little mess up that he did because he forgot the words of Diamonds, which is very sad. But I guess that would happen to a lot of people because you're trying to concentrate, and then you get all worried and you just say to yourself, am I going to mess up? Am I going to mess up? And then you talk yourself into it, and then you just completely forget. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people. Unfortunately, you never know. But I'm reading here, as I was saying before, that the tickets are available, but he's coming back to Australia. I'm hoping that this isn't an old article, because I would really love to be able to see him. But it's actually an amazing kind of thing, because he's going to be touring around, and I would love to meet him in person, because who wouldn't? I mean, like, he is an amazing singer, beautiful voice, beautiful personality, and I think having a good personality is something so critical that you need, because you need a good personality for people to like you, I guess. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot of information about Callum on the internet because he's such a new singer. So what I might do is try to find somebody else to do some research about. But trying to talk a bit more about Callum Scott, I actually now know where he was born. He was born in Kingston, Uptown, Hull, England, in United Kingdom. That's a very big place. I'm pretty sure that's a big place anyway. Well, there isn't an early career, but it mentions that how he had joined a Maroon 5 tribute band, the Maroon 4, and he toured around the United Kingdom. In 2014, he formed the electronic duo, The Experiment, with John McIntyre, I believe it's pronounced. The debut single, Girl, You Are Beautiful, was released on the 14th of June, the duo performed the song on Good Morning Britain. I never knew that at all. A bit more about when he was on Britain's Got Talent was, as I say, Jade received 3 votes on no by Amanda, David and Simon, as Alicia didn't need to announce her vote because she had already been voted out, which is a very big shame. She did have a beautiful voice, but she probably just wasn't ready for the fame, I guess, whereas Callum was just all set on making his career in the music industry. In the semi-finals of BGT, I also found that he performed We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off by Jeremy Stewart. And Simon Cowell had commented, "You really sound like a recording artist," whilst David Williams suggested that he could have success around the world. He won the semi-final, as I mentioned, sending him straight through to the final. On the final of the 31st of May, Scott did perform the Diamonds, and with that he did finish 6 out of 12, which I think is a very good result, coming from nothing to being 6th. That's a huge achievement for one person to make. I'm sure a lot of you who actually do listen to this podcast, who like to sing or who like to listen to music, I'm sure a lot of you would understand that that is an amazing achievement and that he should be applauded by all means, because he just made it a beautiful kind of thing, I guess. And yeah, what I might do is, because there really isn't any more information on him, I might look up another singer. I'm not sure who I'm going to do, actually. I will tell you actually about something that I had known when I think it was in year 5. I had a music teacher called Michael Meeking, and he's actually posted some things on YouTube. I was so surprised that one of my teachers had actually got a YouTube channel. When you're a young child, you just you don't really think, oh yeah, teachers have a life outside of school, and I was just amazed. So I went up and looked at some of his songs, and one of my favorite was called Lost Souls, I believe. I think you should go check him out, actually. I don't think he's a famous kind of singer, but he did get a lot of views. His last name is spelled Meeking. So hopefully you guys will go and check him out. And I thought he had a nice voice, and the little video clip to go with Lost Souls was cute. It had a little puppy running, and I was perfect. Also, another person that you should listen to is Maria and Scott. I think they have got a beautiful voice too, as most of you Sandy College people would have actually heard them sing, but go check them out as well. If you're not a music fan, though, you don't have to necessarily listen into this. There are plenty more there's a movie podcast, there's WWE. So if you want, just listen to those guys as well. But for me, music is life. Sorry, people just keep coming in, so I pause because I don't want to disturb them. So not specifically talking about anybody in particular anymore. I think we're just gonna, for the last little while that we have, we're just gonna talk about how music can stimulate our minds and stuff like that. So, as many of us would have probably listened to when we were younger or even now, we probably listen to a lot of that kind of stuff, soulful music. And of course, having younger siblings can definitely make you want to listen to music to calm you down, because let's just be honest, siblings can be very annoying. I'm sure a lot of you would probably have a sibling. I mean, I do love spending time with my siblings, but they can be annoying. So you might need to listen to a lot of music. And with the kind of stuff that they listen to, you just kind of wonder what goes on through their little tiny minds. But I believe that music should be in everybody's life, because there is music for everybody out there, whether if it's, let's just say, pop, rap. A lot of people like Eminem. I don't believe I've ever listened to Eminem, but if you guys like Eminem, if you see me out in the yard, you know my face and my name, which is Hannah. Tell me a few songs, or tell me anybody out in the yard. Please just come up to me and just tell me, oh, can you tell me a little bit about this artist? Because I need some more inspiration on who to do, because it is quite hard trying to figure out who to do week from week. Next week, I want to do a band. And I think I know the perfect band. I've been listening to this band called Evanescence, and I've grown quite attached to this song called My Immortal. I really like that song because it's just so soft and it's calming, and I feel like a lot of people can actually relate with that kind of music. So I really want to do a band next week. Doesn't matter whether if it's a male or female or a mixed, but instead of doing singular people, I think I want to do a little bit more of a group kind of thing, because I don't think a lot of people want to just constantly hear about a single person. Like, there are so many good groups out there. Like, I know back in the younger days of many of us teenagers would probably listen to One Direction. I can't say I really listen to them either, but whatever fancies other people, like, who's to say what music we can and can't listen to? Like, I wouldn't be a good person if I told you, no, you can't listen to that or anything like that. So go ahead and listen to any type of music you want. One music that I never really understood was headbanging music. And I don't know why they gave it that name. Like, I know that it makes you want to bang your head, but it just doesn't make sense, you know? Like, you just kind of get a little bit... People these days, with what they name things, like, you hear a lot of funny things and lots of funny names in songs and shops and everything like that, and you just kind of think, what are people calling their songs these days? Like, you kind of just wonder. I listened to this band called DNCE. You might have heard of them before, but Cake by the Ocean. Who came up with that name, Cake by the Ocean? Like, yeah, okay, you're gonna eat cake by the ocean. Jeez. But with music, you can just drift away into your own little world, and especially when you just want something calming, or if you can't fall asleep at night, I suggest listen to calming music, possibly not music that's gonna keep you awake, because if you want to fall asleep, you're not gonna want to listen to something that has screamo in it, because honestly, that possibly isn't the best idea to do if you're gonna try to go to sleep and it's like 12 a.m. In the morning. You won't want to listen to something that's gonna keep you awake. And I believe that a lot of people would actually do that, just listen to that kind of stuff. I mean, if loud music gets you to sleep, then go ahead. But remember not to have your music up too loud, because it can damage your eardrums. I've learnt that from my music and my vet course. So don't have your music up too loud, as there's only a certain amount your ears can hold, and there's a certain amount of threshold, which is 0, and I believe it was 120 hertz or decibels, I believe. So don't listen to music that's really loud, booming, because the last thing I would want to hear is one of you guys go deaf from listening to very loud music, because it can actually hurt your ears. So be careful when you're listening to music. Like, yep, have it up, but only enough that you can hear it, and so it won't bother other people. Because don't you really not like that kid in class where you can constantly hear their music blasting out of their earphones, and you can hear what kind of music they listen to, and you're like, that's not my type of music. I don't want to listen to that. I get a lot of that kind of people in classes, especially when I was at my old school. Gee, some of the music that those guys listen to, honestly, I could just like hear it so much. It's so annoying, and it's distracting. Like, you're trying to listen to your music, and then you can hear other people's music over the top. It's like, be considerate, please. Yep. I mean, that's why I kind of listen to people like Callum Scott and Ed Sheeran, who I've talked about for the last 2 weeks. And I do apologize that I didn't get to do a podcast last week, but we went out on an excursion, the Year 11 VCAL students. So that was a pretty good experience. I don't know. I want to get into something to do with music. I want to be able to produce my own music. So if you guys like listening to music or producing music, then the VEC music class is the best for you. For you year 10s or year 9s from the junior campus coming down to the senior, please consider it if you love music and producing music, because it is a really fun kind of activity. You learn so much from it. I've learned so much. Compliments to Ben for teaching me in that class. But back onto music, proper music, if you say so. I believe that when people listen to music, you can just kind of go into your own little world, and sometimes like you kind of actually go so far into your own little world that you actually forget your own world. And if you're having a bad time at that moment, it's a really good strategy to use to just be able to listen to music. I love music. And if all of you guys love music too, then why not listen to it? Like, it's a nice kind of way to be able to connect. And then when you're listening to someone that you also like, it feels like you're around with them and you can listen to their voice and just listen to the way the music and the instruments just go through you. My personal favorite instruments would kind of have to be violin, flute, and piano. I love those kind of things in music because they're calming kind of sounds that you can have. And if, like, I mean, I know there's a lot of music with drums in them and really loud drums that, you know, the kind of drums that may make you not want to listen to your music loud, because then you can just kind of feel the vibrations of the drums going through your eardrums, and then you kind of like, I don't think I was meant to have my music up that loud. But I'm going to split up my podcasts every week, I think. Some weeks I might even do 2 people. So if it's a shorter one, I will make sure that I have 2 people to talk about rather than just one and gamble on. But I'm going to try to do this every week if you guys actually like just hearing personal opinions of mine about music and just having a little bit of a laugh. Music doesn't have to just be serious. It can be funny. So why not? Like, just put a little bit of laughter in the world. But another thing about Callum Scott, though, jumping back onto the topic of Callum Scott, was that when he went on BGT and his sister hadn't gotten through, the judges, one of the judges, Alicia, I believe it was Alicia, who said, "Are you okay?" Because he was like very nervous. And you would be if you found out like one of your family members who got you into singing didn't get through. That would be like the worst feeling, because you're like, but they were good, and why? And then you get like really scared just going on next. But I found that was so sweet that she actually cared that much to ask that if he was okay, because he was like kind of shaking a little bit and his hands were wobbling. And you just kind of feel sorry for the guy at that particular moment, because you're just thinking, is he going to go well, or is he not going to go well? What's going to happen? Is he going to forget the words halfway through, or is he going to run off and start being emotional, or is he going to cry afterwards? In those kind of moments when you're watching auditions for these kind of shows, you're just constantly on your seat. Are they going to get through? Are they not going to get through? What is going to happen? Are they going to be one of those abusive people that you see on a lot of these shows? Are they going to be yelling? Are they going to be rude contestants? Are they going to be overly emotional, or contestants that think they can sing or that they can't sing? Constant thoughts run through your mind when you're watching these kind of shows, and I think that's like one of the big things why I don't always listen to these kind of shows or watch them, because like constantly being on the edge of your seat is not fun, because you're wondering, are they going to get through? Come on, I really like them. And especially watching those live reality shows like X Factor and stuff, and on grand final day, and you're waiting to see who wins, and how they leave you on the edge of your seat, and you're like, no, come on, tell me who's won. Is it going to be this person, or is it going to be this person? Please don't be this person. Please don't be this person. And then it's that person you don't want to win, and you're like, I waited half an hour to find out who won this competition, to find out it was the one I didn't want to win. Like, come on. Isn't there people out there with more sense? Like, come on. I like this guy. And this year on the last X Factor, oh no, it was The Voice, sorry. There was this one guy who I really wanted to win called Sheldon. If you guys actually watched The Voice, I wanted Sheldon to win, but the DJ guy won. And I'm like, yeah, he had a good voice, but why? I wanted the other guys to win or something, like someone that actually had something, because I felt like he was focusing too much on his DJing and stuff like that. And you kind of, I mean, I respect DJs, like how they can do all that kind of stuff, especially with the recording and stuff. That must be hard, but I feel like this guy went just full on board with it, and he didn't really focus on his singing, and you kind of want someone to sing. I remember seeing The Voice Kids a while ago on YouTube, and there was this little girl called Alexa, and she loved Delta Goodrum, and she sung This Girl Was on Fire. Gee, she was 10 years old, and she sounded like she was a teenager. Like, honestly, she had a beautiful voice, and she ended up winning, which isn't surprising because her voice was immaculate. Like, absolutely amazing. Like, you wouldn't be able to guess that it was a 10-year-old girl from like a microphone or anything like that, or if it was just on the radio, you wouldn't be able to guess that she was only 10 years old. I do suggest you look up that Alexa Curtis. I believe that's her last name. Again, sorry if I do pronounce these things wrong, because I'm not the best at pronunciation, but I'm doing my best trying to pronounce these names, because I hate getting people's names wrong, and then it makes them feel bad because it's like, you don't know me. But again, back onto the music part of things. I love listening to music, especially at night time, and then you're just lying on your bed. Just imagine you're lying on your bed, just under your bed sheets. You got your earbuds in your ears. You're lying, looking up at the stars, if you've got a skylight, and you're just thinking about all the day that went past, whether it was a stressful day or whether it was a good day, and you just reflect on your day. And I think that's a good meditation kind of thing. So listen to music and reflect on your day, because that is honestly possibly one of the best ways to handle things. I think I should do that myself. So maybe that can be homework for everyone here. Just tonight, go on their bed, listen to their favorite song, and reflect on the good and bad parts about their day. I know there might be a few bad parts about everyone's day, but hey, once the days end, you be able to just go, well, today's ended. I'm going to be so much happier, and just listen to your music and reflect and just say what we all could have done better and what we did perfectly. But music is a very stimulating kind of thing. It's even better than having chocolate, I think. Like, a lot of people love chocolate, but for me, I think music is better. Like, you just have your music. I mean, if people are lucky, you might even have music and chocolate together. But I am going to sign off now. But thank you all for listening to the 2Sweet Music Channel podcast. I will talk again next week, possibly on Evanescence. I really want to do them sometime, or maybe even Crowded House. If you see me out in the schoolyard, tell me, should I do Evanescence or the Crowded House band or another band? But until next week, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the 2Sweet music. This is Hannah signing off.